In total, more than 40 pounds of high-quality marijuana, 2 semi-automatic weapons, and more than $11,000 on top of a 2022 Dodge Challenger Hellcat jailbreak, seized by Hart County, Georgia police office. Apparently, this guy was running drugs, and he was doing that in a Hellcat, one of the loudest muscle cars out there. He was doing that in a Hellcat. But the Hellcat's not going back to him or his family. It's not going to the city. They're not going to auction it off. This police department is going to keep this Hellcat and repurpose it for official police business. That's what cops are doing nowadays. They catch your Hellcat, your Scatpack, you're not getting it back. They're not going to auction it off. They're going to slap a big police department sticker on the side of it and use it for official police business. Let's talk about it. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Knockout 360 here with another video for you guys. You can tell I'm in a car. That makes this a car vlog. You already know what's going down when I come around. Let's get into it, man. We've got car content, car shows, car reviews, car meets, anything and everything car related happens on this channel. So if you're into that, make sure that you stick around because you're in the right place for it. And hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell so that you know what's coming out and when it's coming out. So I'm looking at a weed bust leads to the seizure of a car worth over $100,000. Why you would be paying $100,000 for a Mopar, I don't know, but you know, that's beyond me. Let's look at it here. In total, more than 40 pounds of high quality marijuana. I'm assuming that's a lot. 2 semi-automatic weapons and more than $11,000 in cash were seized by Hart County Sheriff's Office in Georgia. On top of that, they also seized a jailbreak Hellcat. Well, they say Dodge Charger, but clearly this is a Dodge Challenger. I don't know why people still get that mixed up to this day, but they seized a jailbreak Hellcat Dodge Challenger. The top of the top trims, you already know, 807 horsepower. We don't have to get into the specifics. 2022, so it was literally brand new. Only had it for a year. 2022 Challenger SRT Hellcat red eye wide body jailbreak is how they described it on the website. And both of these individuals, well, all three of these individuals charged with felony trafficking, marijuana, tampering with evidence, possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime, felony possession of marijuana with intent to distribute. Clearly, you're intending to distribute with 40 pounds of grass. But aside from the marijuana, aside from the guns and the cash, this Hellcat is no longer theirs. It's not the family's. It's not even the city's. It's the Hart County Sheriff's Department's, and they're going to repurpose it for official police business. Now, why does this sound familiar? Because this has already happened once before. This happened down in Texas with a individual. I'm going to put this Hellcat red eye up on the screen. You have seen that all over social media. This particular individual decided that he wanted to take his red eye and run from Texas state troopers. Now, to my understanding, Texas state troopers are a little different. They've got nothing to do but chase you. Apparently, he ran out of gas. We've talked about that type of stuff before. And they seized his car. It wasn't enough to just put him behind bars. They seized his car. Not only did they seize his car, but they repurposed it for police business. Took all that Hellcat red eye mess off of the side of his car, put Texas Department of Public Safety. I mean, they got it looking clean. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, you know, if I was a cop, state trooper, this is the kind of, you know, car that I want to drive. You've seen it all over social media. It's got the lights. It's got the 6.2 liter V8 Hemi under the hood of it. Challenger with the white hood, black body. It's clean. This video is sponsored by CarLock. CarLock is a car security device that I stand by and recommend for some extra security and peace of mind if you own a Dodge Charger or Dodge Challenger. Check them out by clicking the link below in the description. Use code Knockout360 for an additional 10% off your Amazon purchase. And also use code Knockout360 for 14 extra free day trial. Let's get into the video. But it's a police car. And then let's go down to Florida with their red eye that they've done this with as well. Tampa Police Department got a Hellcat red eye in the smoke show gray. Once again, still in Florida Sheriff's Department, they seized the Hellcat Challenger. It's theirs. Now, mind you, it's a Challenger, so it's not even like you can chase people down and pull them over and take them down to the police department or a police station. It's strictly for, you know, chasing you down. And then they'll call another squad car to come and get you. Let's go to the, what's this? Lowndes County Sheriff's Department. I think this is in Michigan, if I'm not mistaken. Hellcat Charger that they seized. Sandy Springs Police Department, Hellcat Charger that they seized. And then, of course, let's go to Charlotte, North Carolina, which a couple years ago, well, maybe 2 years ago, there was a big police seizure of over 60 vehicles due to street racing, takeovers, things of that sort. And each one of those cars, to this day, are still being held by police departments. Some people were able to get their cars after they go with lawyers and stuff like that. But by and large, each one of these cars are still property of police. One of which was a 2020 Dodge Charger Hellcat. A lot of departments at this point have reserved the right to either auction these cars off, give them back to the owner, or repurpose them for official police business. And that's why you're seeing more and more Hellcats, wide bodies, out here patrolling and keeping the city safe. You have to be mindful that when you play, hardball with the police, they can play hardball back with you. And a lot of these cops are catching on at this point. I mean, they understand that these cars are doing extraordinary numbers as far as power is concerned. They understand that their traditional 5.7 Hemis and 3.6 liter Pentastars, and then, of course, whatever the Ford Explorers are running, it's not going to cut it. They need more power. Well, when you've got a 797 horsepower Hellcat Red Eye, you don't need more power. You are power. You have all the power you need. A lot of the police departments at this point are going this route where instead of just seizing your car and auctioning it off like they used to seize drug dealer cars and auctioning them off, take that money and the proceeds and I guess funnel that back into the police department or funnel that back into the city or however that works. Instead of doing that, a lot of these departments are seizing these cars, yanking all of that SRT Hellcat stuff, all of your Instagram tags, all of the mess that you got on your car, yanking it off and repurposing them for police business. And when you see a 797 horsepower Hellcat Red Eye behind you, you pull over. It doesn't matter what you have. You're not running from that. And if you do try to run, they're going to be right beside you the whole time. And I think that's why police departments are doing it, because they realize that they need more power. And, what they're getting in their basic 5.7 Hemis is just not cutting it. What they're getting in their Explorers are just not cutting it. What they're getting in their 3.6 Dodge Chargers is not cutting it. And they've got to take things to another level. Now, if most departments, and this actually happened down in Georgia, this was back in 2017, early on, one of the departments took some drug money that they had used and seized from a drug deal, and they went out and bought a 2017 Dodge Charger Hellcat. Well, somehow or another, the city found out about it. The people of the city found out about it and basically made them sell that car because they figured that $70,000 at the time could be put to better use in the city, in the community, than a Dodge Charger Hellcat, which makes perfect sense. I would agree 100%. But when they seize your Hellcat, at that point, it's their car. It would be one thing if they seized this drug money and took that drug money to go down to Keffer Dodge and buy a Hellcat, in which case I can understand the conflict, right? But in this particular case, or in these cases, they're just taking your Hellcat, your Scatpack, seizing it right off of you for whatever crime that you committed, right? And repurposing it for police use. Because at that point, they already got the car. They don't need to put any money into it. They're not going to do any upgrades. They'll send it down to the body shop and get it wrapped, in whatever color the department is working with. But as far as taking that car and upgrading it or anything like that, they don't have to put any money into it. It already does what they need it to do and more. So it's one of those things we've already got the car. We might as well use it. Now, like I said, they've got three options. They can give it back to you, which they're not likely to do. They can auction it off, take the proceeds from the auction and put it back into the community or into the department. Or they can just keep the car altogether and repurpose it. And that's what a lot of departments are doing at this point. When they catch you trying to run from them, they just take you, obviously, you go into jail, and then they take your car and they just repurpose it. Apparently that's legal. I don't, know the statutes or how that's legal, but I would assume whenever something is a part of an investigation and it's been seized by police, it's no longer yours at that point. So you forfeited the ownership of your automobile to the police department. And at that point, it's up to them to do as they please with it. And a lot of these departments are taking their liberties and using these cars. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've seen some of these cars in action. I've seen one Hellcat Charger in Charlotte. It was a state trooper. He's kind of I think he's one of one, because I don't see too many other ones, but I've seen him, and I've seen maybe another Scatpack in Charlotte, you know, that was a cop car. But I mean, look at here. This is what, Indiana right here. This is an actual wide body Hellcat Charger in use. I mean, I'm seeing departments in Florida that's taking Trackhawks, Jeeps, and retrofitting them as police vehicles, and now they're on the road. You're not running from a Trackhawk. All-wheel drive, 700 horsepower, you're not running from that. You pull over, you take that L like a man, you know? But that's what's happening, guys. These police departments are getting smarter, and they're catching on. And instead of using police funds to go out and buy these cars, they don't have to do that. Why would they do that when they caught you slipping with your Hellcat or your Scatpack, right? And then they're just going to seize it and put it back on the street. But when they put it back on the street, it's going to say CMPD. It's going to say Texas Public Safety Department. It's going to say Detroit Police Department. You know what I'm saying? Atlanta Police Department, APD. Atlanta Police, APD. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that's what a lot of departments are doing at this point. And they reserve that right to do so. I don't think that they're, you know, using any sort of illegal means of doing so, or I don't think that they're stretching the law or you know, kind of living within the margins of the law. I think that's very much so legal for them to do so. At that point, once your car has been forfeited, as far as your ownership is concerned, or maybe you're in car where your car was a part of the investigation. Like, for instance, I would imagine that this Hellcat Red Eye that the Hart County Police Department sees, I would almost imagine that the money that they bought this car with was drug money. So that makes it a part of the investigation. That makes it an asset in the investigation. So at that point, they're going to take this car and everything else that you purchased with your drug money. And once they seize it, I mean, why would you sell this? Now, granted, you can probably get 80, 90,000 off the street, but why would you do that? Why would you do that when you can just, you know what I'm saying, take this car yourself and put it on the department, and it's yours at that point, you know? And that's what a lot of departments are doing. They're taking these cars and they're just putting them on the streets as police cars. Can you imagine seeing your Hellcat that you done put all your money and energy to, and it's a police car at this point? They done stripped off your stripes and your emblems and badges and all that stuff, and it's a cop car. You know, that's how it is at this point. You know, police have caught on, and they're taking these cars and making them theirs. So, you know, it is what it is, guys. Like, police at this point have caught on. They've caught on. They've catched up. I don't know why I keep saying caught on, but you know, this is the hard ball that they're playing. So not only are you risking your safety and your freedom by trying to run from a cop or something like that, you're now risking your car. And you know anything about these cars are not cheap. They're expensive to come by. So if you drop 100,000 on a Hellcat Red Eye once, the likelihood that you're going to be able to do it again is not likely at all. So, you know, that's just my take on the matter, man. Police departments are not playing any games. So for you guys out there that think that you can run and keep running, you better hope that, you know, you're successful at that, because if you're not, you're going to lose more than just your freedom. As always, it's been your boy Knockout, man. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.